Manchester United dropped more points against Bournemouth last night, and it looks like Champions League is over. I mean, we've been saying that for a few weeks, but it really is solidified now that any chance of that top 5 is kind of over right now. And I thought that I'd speak about kind of a topic that I'm seeing a little bit online since the draw against Bournemouth. And it's about the kind of players down in tools, giving up. It was a poor performance last night, and I did see some of that on my timeline on Twitter and kind of in different kind of areas online. But I just, it's something I don't really agree with, so I thought I'd kind of go into why and see what you guys have your opinions on it as well. So a lot of the kind of stuff that I saw online was that players looked like they'd given up on Ten Hag, looked like they down tools on him, and that you need the kind of narrative that we've seen in recent months where it's another group of players binning off a manager, where like another group of players kind of down in tools, getting a manager sacked. We all see you. I just don't see it this time, to be honest. Like I understood that definitely under Ollie, under Jose as well. I don't really remember the kind of behind the scenes reports about Van Gaal or David Moyes, but yeah, there's certainly Moyes and Ollie, it kind of was something that seemed apparent, where it seemed like the team had given up on them. And yeah, let's not forget, they both got sacked quite early into seasons, where it almost seemed like from when the season started, you go, okay, they're not going to last long. They're not going to last past Christmas. They were both sacked November and December, I believe, in their respective seasons. Ten Hag right now, we're talking about it in April. And let's not act as if the United have come into April, they've played most of the season decently, and then come into the last couple months and gone, nah, we're tired now, we're going to give up on this manager, and the last few months have been dreadful. It's not that. United have been poor all season long, and you can't deny it. And I genuinely ask any of you if you can pick out 2 or 3 games in a row where United have not only won, but have been convincing and good performances in a row. It hasn't happened, I don't think. I don't think you can actually put in 2, maybe 2, but not 3 performances in a row where you go, okay, I see where we're going. This is positive. It hasn't been like that. We've either been drawing or losing. I mean, not too many draws, but we've either been dropping points or winning and going, right, we've won, they're good, but we need to pick up performances. I feel like, obviously I write on the website, and I feel like most weeks where we were winning, it was almost me going, United were fortunate to get a win. We need to see improvements going forward if they are going to push for top 4. And we haven't seen those improvements, and we've dropped away. And now we're looking at the people behind us and hoping that they don't take us over. So I don't think that it's the same situation where because these players won't just... If these players were going to down tools, it would have happened earlier in the season. But we've continuously... We're still only just now out of the conversation for this top 4 or the top 5. Literally in April, because these players haven't given up. They've been in a very poor system which doesn't get the best out of almost anyone in the team. I don't think you can say any one player has absolutely excelled in this system. I think maybe Diego Dallo is one of few who's doing really well over the course of the season in this system, but I think that's kind of more of a testament to him than his role within the system. It's not getting the best out of anyone, but they are still trying. You're still seeing 4-3s versus Liverpool. You're still seeing a lot of positive results. And of course, that's not just down to the players. There's also good work that Ten Hag's done. But the players have to still be there and still be kind of trying to play this way that Ten Hag's putting them in situations to do. And they have been. Obviously, this kind of conversation comes up after Garnacho's liked tweets, and I think Ahmad's story, a couple of players doing kind of things on social media, which I don't agree with, and a lot of United fans don't agree with. But it's not throwing the manager under the bus. And there's also things that you can see that Ten Hag needed to do differently. I think it is not right to kind of mention the right wing problems throughout the game when Garnacho has started 30 games in a row. You cannot kind of... I understand that it's him being his Dutch truthful self after the game, where he's asked why Garnacho came off, and he does. Obviously, he mentions that he only trained once during the week, which is a fair comment, but he also mentioned that they kind of were getting exploited on the right side. He needed to make a change, and kind of like I don't think it was bad criticism in itself. Like saying that is not a thing you can criticise a manager for on its own. But when you add context and know that that right wing player is someone that you have started 30 times in a row, and he is kind of the person who's got you out of situations in recent months, then it's a problem, because it's almost kind of like not acknowledging that situation. Maybe if he did say, oh yeah, well, we had those problems on the right wing, but Garnacho only trained once and he's played a lot of football in the past couple months, that would probably be a little bit better. But it does seem a little bit odd. I mean, I didn't have a problem with the quote itself, it's the context around it. And I think another problem is with this entire kind of Ten Hag situation is a lot of players just don't seem to know why they are doing what they're doing. That you see Garnacho or Rashford or Højlund pressing forward, trying to win the ball high up, and then the fullbacks way back, easy escape for the opposition. This was a real big problem against Brentford, and it has been against multiple other teams throughout the course of the season. But you are seeing those players starting to think and go, why am I doing this? Why am I pressing 30 yards forward to then run 50 yards backwards because we've not got the pressing structure to do it? Obviously, they might not be thinking all of that, but it's kind of, there's question marks being raised. I saw Casemiro kind of against Bournemouth. He was speaking to Bruno Fernandes. It looked like he was kind of confused about I think it was his out of possession role in the team there. And obviously, it doesn't help that Casemiro is playing how he's playing. But at the same time, I feel harsh. I personally think we should sell Casemiro at the end of the season, try and get some money for him from Saudi potentially. But with how poor his performances are, I still feel harsh putting all of that on him, because this structure just isn't getting the best out of any player in the team. And even though it does look like he is declining a little bit with his legs, with his kind of reading of the situations that he's going into when he's trying to tackle, it's still being amplified by the way in which Ten Hag is asking him to play. His in-possession work is not good. We all kind of knew that even last season. I mean, he had some great long balls last season, which he's still pulling off at points this year. But in possession, playing through the lines, kind of just keeping the ball simple, he's not being good at it. When he was, I mean, he wasn't that guy at Real Madrid, and he's not really been that guy at United either. But we're asking him to play the most kind of possession-based role in the midfield when you've got Casemiro, young kid, I know, but he's much better at that task than Casemiro, but he's still getting half the touches than him per 90. So I just feel harsh blaming certain players for their performances, because the entire setup is so poor, and it's been like it for a long time. And I think maybe if players can get through bad spells, they should be expected to. But when that bad spell is ongoing, I think it's natural to see players maybe give that 1% less, 2% less, and that's all you need to give less in the Premier League as well. Because once you drop those that 1 or 2%, it's noticeable, because obviously the competition is so strong. But yeah, I think you can't label this as players giving up on the manager, and not either. You can maybe speak about it, but you've got to reference these other points, in my opinion, and kind of see why players might be giving those less percentages in their effort or in their game. But personally, from my opinion, I don't see how you can think that a team which fought back against Liverpool a couple weeks back, got that 2-2 draw against Liverpool last week, where we were battered in the first half and we came out, I don't think you can really say that this team are giving up on the manager. And whether he stays or whether he goes, I don't think it's another situation like Oli or Jose where you go, yeah, they were done. The team let them down, kind of. Or obviously there's different factors with both of those managers, but that's an opinion that a lot of people held, that the team let them down. I don't think you can say that with Ten Hag. Let me know what you think about that kind of topic in the comments below. I think it's an interesting one because, it's something people were talking about. It's comparable to the other managers. I think it's a different situation, but let me know. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like it below, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated. That's all from me, and we'll see you in the next one.